Welcome. Today we're talking about writing. More specifically, writing descriptions. Even more specifically, for middle school students. So stay tuned. Welcome. Writing can be quite challenging indeed. That's never more true than in middle school where you're challenged to write like never before. Doing such things as writing a description can be quite arduous. And today I'd like to share with you a method to make this easier, to basically provide a way that focuses on specific skills and then brings them together, creating better results. Most importantly, it takes a lot of pressure off of the student and it helps them to feel less overwhelmed and therefore to write more and write more confidently. Let's look.
First, I provide a scene. Now, it's very important to me that I actually show a picture. I don't want the student to have to create all of these mental images in their mind because I find it to be quite a juggling act. They're trying to think of every nuance and they're trying to write about it, and it's just very hard and taxing for a simple exercise. So, I will show them a picture from a movie. Now, granted, I do enjoy a good Disney film because I find that the storylines are very easy to understand and remember, and the pictures are very captivating. But of course, any picture can be used. The key here, though, is to have an engaging picture and something that they can be stimulated by. Next, I'm going to break down what I want in this description. So I'm going to break it down in the following ways. I want actions, I want appearance, and I want connections. By actions, I mean literally actions. Running, standing, holding, laughing, looking, any action that's going on in the picture. Number two is appearance. This is what everything looks like and everybody looks like. You can think about the hair color and the eye color and the shirts and what the background is. Again, I separate these two things because I want them to be focused on that. When you're thinking about what things look like, I don't want you to also be thinking, oh, well, what is he doing? Keeping them separate simplifies things and creates more results. Lastly, connections. So what does these actions have to do with these appearance? And it is in connections that they can bring up the actual plot of the story more. It's not wrong to know the larger plot of the story, such as with Cinderella, because these pictures are just stimulants. They're just supposed to encourage more out of the student. So if they know the plot, by all means, then have those connections and make the actions meaningful and make the appearance meaningful. Make everything connect. Number 3, make lists. After I have discussed what it means to be actions and appearance and connections, and oftentimes, again, I'll devote an entire lesson to each of these items so we thoroughly understand, then I want them to list out everything within each category. So actions, I want them to just create a list of every action that has taken place in the scene. It's very important that they make a list and not that they, at this point, try to make the paragraph, because when we begin to write, it can sometimes be very clunky. She is pretty. This is a room. And part of the reason for this is because our mind is still processing what we're seeing. And a mind that is processing cannot accurately articulate itself. So again, I separate things. I want them to fully digest and understand the picture that they're seeing, list out everything, and then after that, then we can create the paragraph because we have the raw data, the information that we want. It's still important, though, to create the lists, one, so we don't have to remember everything in our mind, and two, as an act of processing and digesting what we're actually seeing. Number 4, now we can write the paragraph. We can write the description and summarize and connect everything. Remember, the student has taken the time to really understand this picture. They have looked at it from all angles, and they have a picture to look at so they don't have to remember everything. And they have their lists where they have lots of interesting points to mention. Then you ask them to write the paragraph, and they have a lot to say because they have so much data, they have so much information at the ready. Of course, this will look different for every student. Some students struggle more at this point than others. But the important thing is that now you can focus on writing itself. How do I take ideas and turn them into sentences? Or how do I take sentences and make them even better? This is the reason why you came together to talk about writing, and now you can actually focus on it rather than trying to grapple and deal with all of these details. You can just think about the actual content of the written words themselves and how they all go together. Now I would like to show you an example using Cinderella. First we have actions. An older woman stands at the door. She is holding a key. I realize this is hard to see, but it's shiny, and if you've seen the movie, it's very obvious that she's holding a key. The young woman gasps. She holds a scroll. She turns around. The women are looking at each other. At this point, it's not important who, it's not important what anybody looks like, just to have as little information to say as much as you can about the actual actions of the scene. Going onward, now this is a much larger slide, basically listing all of the various details about their appearance. The other woman is younger, meaning Cinderella, and she's very pretty. What clothes are they wearing? All sorts of things. You may not even use all of this. No, you certainly will not use all of this when you write your actual summary paragraph, but it's an exercise in observing, and it's saying that the more the better, basically, and getting out what is basically brewing in the mind when you just see this photo and you see all of these different visual elements. Just list them out. Even if you don't use them all, just list them out. Lastly, we have the connections. So obviously the most notably that Cinderella has big eyes and an open mouth. Why? Well, because she's shocked. So, and we had the action of gasping, and then we had the appearance of big eyes and a big mouth, a big open wide mouth, and now we can connect those two. You want to connect them at first, I understand, but try to hold out so that you can just clearly think about only one thing at one time. And now we can work on these connections. So the scroll invites Cinderella to the ball. Obviously, you need to have watched the movie to know that, and you could write this without that, but it's just helps the student to make it all make sense. The picture is a stimulant, but we all know the story of Cinderella, and so this all helps us just understand and put everything together. Last but not least, the actual paragraph, the description. Cinderella is a beautiful young girl with blue eyes and strawberry blonde hair. She is holding her invitation to the ball. Her stepmother holds the key, ready to lock her into the room. Cinderella gasps at the sight of her stepmother because she is shocked. Now, every student is going to write something completely different. I've given you this full example here to show you how it would work out, but every student is going to be different. And this, at this point, is when I would talk about the order of thoughts and combining information. So instead of saying 2 sentences for appearance, how can we put that into one? There's several different things you can talk about at this point, but the key is that you get this paragraph so you have something to talk about. And that's what this exercise has been about.
Well, there you have it. We've gone through everything. We know a lot more about Cinderella now. I hope that this method will help you. And if you're interested in working through this with me as a tutor, then please contact me. You can always book a lesson with the link below. If you enjoyed this video and you want more videos like this, be sure to press the subscribe button and that little bell so that you get notifications when I publish new videos, which is every Tuesday and Friday. Well, until next week, thank you so much. Bye-bye.